Start our lesson 2. Today lesson will be LO2 learning outcome 2. As you know me, my name is Anjum Satta. Please, if you have any question, drop me email anjum@ukversity.co.uk and I'll try my best get back to you as soon as possible. So we'll start our lesson in just 2 minutes. Hope everyone will join us and then we'll look this uh, LO2 today, and today lesson will be focused on our LO2. We'll start. Thanks for joining. So just join now. Okay, so today lesson will go through understand the importance of internal control, why internal control is important in our organization. That is very, very crucial. We need to be understand the element of internal control. Okay, we'll start. Okay, so understand the nature and the importance of internal control. We already had a discussion in the previous lesson. Internal control and assurance. That's really we need to be look around. Assurance mean giving the assurance to the client. The information is true and fair, and we have SOPs, standard operating procedures are in place, and those are quite crucial procedures to run our business effectively, because the success of any company, the crucial is had the good internal control system in place in our organization, because that's okay. So guys, that's quite crucial, which we have to be clear internal control system in place as we discussed earlier. So we'll move to our lesson. Always good to be reflect, at the start how much we know about internal control. Okay, so component of internal control for both computerized and the manual system, with the consideration for the control environment, preventive and defective control, internal control, assurance risk, the different types of risk. Risk is mean probability of the chance of happening. So we have inherent risk, control risk, deduction risk, legal responsibility and liability, and the method of minimizing the risk, auditor engagement, exercising the professional judgment. That's also quite crucial in our organization. So 2.1, identify the needs for the organization to having effective control system in place. Discuss the need for many, the area of the business that needs to be effectively controlled system, and describe, the component internal control, and explain how internal control evaluate, and we can look around the merit criteria, mitigate the risk. Okay, internal control is a process designed to implement and maintain the the charge within the governance and the management is quite crucial, in the sustainability of any organization. So we have to look around the reporting system is effective, meeting the basic requirement, efficient, and comply, with all the rules and regulation. So component of internal control, the control environment risk, a risk assessment, information system, control activities, and relevant controls, the financial control, which help, to reduce the risk. So we have the corporate governance, how the company run, and the best interest of the stakeholders really. Objective NI and HMRC reference materiality is significant. All these, the keywords really we need to be focused. So we have a IAS 315 state, that the details need to be understand, and entity, organization, internal control, and assist, the process of identify the 5 components. So internal control is a risk assessment process. Really, we need to be monitoring control. Control of the environment include the governance and the management, the function. largely attitudes, awareness, and actions towards, and communication and enforcement of integrity and ethical, the value really we need to be commitment to the competence and participation by those who charge with the governance and management philosophies and operating style. We have to look around the organization structure. We need to be look around assignment of the authorities and responsibilities and human resource, the policies and practices. That's also quite crucial, which we can use for effective management perspective. Anyone, any question, please? Okay, the next we're looking control environment, the attitudes and awareness of the action, communication, enforcement, integrity and ethical value, the commitment, compliance, participation with the charge, the governance. Governance, we earlier said how the companies control and run. Risk can be reporting properly, operating properly, and keeping by law. That's, assignment authorities, responsibility, human resource policies and practices that are quite crucial. So we have to make sure information system, we have the infrastructure, we need to be look around in the light of the software, the people and the procedures and the data. That's, is we need to be make sure we compliance by, and our financial statement, financial reporting, initiate and record processes and reporting transactions, because the account need to be true and fair. That's the main thing, true and fair. The policies and procedure ensure the management directive that carried out the performance review, information processing, physical control and segregation of duties. There won't be any conflict of interest. So a process to assess the quality of the internal control performance over the time. We look around the operating as intended, modified, appropriate, with internal audit functions, which we can look around. Okay, then we can look around the statutory requirement, which is by law, and we have to manage those. We directors of the companies are required by law to keep, the accounting record, which disclose, with reasonable accuracy affair of the companies, a detailed assess, whether the system allow the directors to carry out these duties and walk through test, that's also a detailed tracing one or more transactions through the system and observing the application of the control on the transaction. So that is also the an audit will carry on. And the control risk, the once the system has been walked through, the editors can make assessment control risk, which is quite crucial. We need to be so test of control, we need to be how we can perform these inquiries about the observation, inspection about the document, examination about the evidence of the management views, reperformance testing and application. So if the risk assessment has shown the control ineffective testing, inefficient that control, we have to be substantive procedures accordingly, consistently by home interim audit we can do as well. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to be make sure the revenue system control, we can look around ordering and granting credit. So what is the credit reference agencies, credit files being checked, credit being authorized, and order are the correct and the order are fulfilled. So we can look around dispatching invoices. All the dispatches are recorded. Invoices is the correct. Credit notes are given are the valid reason. So we can look around the recording and transactions accounting, credit control. Transactions are recorded in correct, accounts and the correct period and irrecoverable bad debts. Bad debts is mean which we can't think we can't recover. So segregation of duties will not one person will, do the things everything themselves. So authorization credit, the segregation numbers, we can look around the correct prices, the match, all these record. So reference, authorization, credit terms, limits, and the matching order. So please, it's always good to be look around the purchase ledger control, purchase ledgers control, subsidiary ledgers audit as well. So that will help, to be matched true and fair information. So internal control, dispatch invoices, we said authorization, examination, recording, match, dispatch notes. segregation numbers, sequential numbers like 1 to 10 or so on, whatever the list of the prices, arithmetical accuracy, which we need to be segregation of duties. Not one person do everything, the recording the sequence of the invoices, the matching the cash receipt with the invoices, the retention of the customer, and remittance, which is quite crucial, which we need to be look around the preparation and checking and reviewing. The test of control, verify the details of the sale invoices with the dispatch note, test of the numerical records, which we need to be verify the invoices, check the entries, the books invoices, check the entries records, which we need to be look around substantial credit notes and all reconciliation of these, which is quite crucial because financial statement only need to be true and fair and telling to the stakeholder the information we have is the true and comply with the compliance. So ordering or authorized for the companies may made from the authorized suppliers. We can look around the receipt only accepted from the authorized order, accurately recorded, liability recognized, and the credit are claimed. So expenditures is only received goods authorized, properly recorded, and correct amount and the correct period. So we mentioned segregation, central policy, pre-numbers, purchase, requisition, authorized pre-numbers, and monitor suppliers, and the test of control. Those are in place when we ordering things, not ordering anything whatever you need it, without the needs of the inventories and the stock or the goods. So we good received, we have to look around the compare with the good received note, the reference suppliers, check the supplier invoices, they record the good return. We can procedures in place to obtain the credit note, accounting, segregation of duties, prompt recording, comparison of suppliers, authorization, payment, review, allocation of expenditures, and reconciliation. So we have to look around, check the numerical sequence, check the purchase day book, check the entries in the ledgers, control, and reconcile. That's also quite crucial, which we need to be make sure we'll do. Okay, cash system control. If you do looking, so how the cash, so all money received are banked, recorded, and safeguarded against theft of the money. Payments are authorized and made out the correct, pays. So payroll, normally if you're paying the back transfer, that's back payments. So that is the bank transfer, which we can say. So that is always good, and that's a good control. So we can look around the segregation of duties, safeguard at and the post stamps, restrictions on the receipt of the cash we can, and we can look around the agreement of the cash, and we can look around prompt maintenance. So that's also quite crucial. So test of control, we can observe the opting balances, cash book, and verify the receipts and the summaries. That's also help you to obtain. Okay, so internal internal control, which we can look around the daily banking restriction on the opening new bank account, limitations we can, and the payment of the checks, and authorization, signatories from dispatch, payment recorded, and the cash payment. That's the test of control which we can apply to perform the bank reconciliation, observe the cash amounts. Okay, so recording is very, very important. All inventories movement recorded, all inventory recorded on the company, because under IS2 International Accounting Standard 2, inventory should be recorded at cost or net realizable value, whichever is the lower. So that's why we need to be make sure inventory quantity, cut off purchase. We can look around internal control, segregation of duties, goods are met, and check inventory issues, and please inventory record. So we can look around the protection, valuation, and the test of control. These are very important, which we need to be look around. So please internal control, the protections, precautions again the theft, precautions again the deterioration, security again inventory, and valuation, calculation, condition, inventory, provisions, test of control. These all is quite crucial. We need to be make sure those we perform. Okay, payroll system control implies only paid authorized accounts for the work done. Deduction from the record, the pay agrees. The correct implies internal control, control, segregation of duties, authorization, recording any charges, custody of the cash which we maintain, the salaries, reconciliation, recording the payroll, and reconciliation deductions. And please, if there are any uh, surprise, the cash count that can be, so we can look around. So always is other control is the non-current asset registered, that need to be additions authorized, kept is securely, and disposal is authorized, and properly account and depreciation, uh, non-controlling register maintain, asset inspected, budgeting and the purchase and the depreciation and the test of control, evidence, authorization, purchase, registered, observation, reconciliation, inspect, and addition. So please, we can use the word ECA map, which is use authorization, who was, computer control, the password, comparison, which we can budget an actual, arithmetical control, numerically, maintain and review control, the sales and the purchase control, account reconciliation, physical control, CCTV, segregation of duties, not doing 1% everything. Okay, so assurance engagement is the practitioner account and express, the conditions designed to enhance the degree of confidence, intended uses which we need to be, reasonable assurance is a high level of assurance, limited assurance is a low level of assurance. During our last lesson we discussed about assurance engagement, intended user, responsible party, segregation criteria, all we need to be look around. Inherently limitations, subjective judgment of the director may give the information to the editors and possibilities that the fraud has been concealed and the sampling evidence. So we need to be make sure which will carry on. Okay. So next, the objective of the editors is to identify, assess the risk of the material misstatement through understanding the entities and its environment, and include the entity's internal control system. Okay, audit risk, which we need to be make sure, the audit risk, that's the details stated in the financial statement, inherent the risk the item will be materially misstated due to the nature of the context and the control risk, the entity internal system is not prevent, and deduction, the risk that the editors will not deduct in the material misstatement, so that can be itself is a risk, so we have to be make sure in line with it. Okay, guys, so we need to be make sure we do the risk assessment. Editors has no control over the inherent control risk and affecting the entity. Editor's primary assessment include the expectation of the control and operating control. Testing should be undertaken and assess the adequacy of the accounting systems. Identify the types of the potential misstatements and consider the factor affecting the risk misstatement. Test of control, substantive procedures, so test of control, analytical procedures that can materiality is the measure how the important in term of the issues and related, the financial statement as a whole. We can look around assessing the material help, editor to judge what item to be tested, whether the sampling technique is appropriate, or relative size, nature, and effect all need to be tested. Okay, significant risk, the fraud risk and unusual transaction, those need to be monitored as a detail when we do assurance. Evaluate that are control, extra procedures, documents, report, yes, indicators of the fraud, the management incentivize opportunities. Okay, so that's all today. We had a discussion about internal control and procedures. So please, you've been given the link for the reading. So if you copy the links, you can look around. Please, if you want to, it's quite good. You can set up a account on Open Tuition, please. That's which some of the resources if you want to use. Other than that, we have the Kaplan, Osborne, and various other books available on our website. And look around F8 of ACC exam, and various examples with of internal control and different types of internal control can be used. End of the day, we need to be think about the risk, inherent risk, audit risk, or control risk, and we have to be make sure financial statement need to be true and fair. If the financial statement true and fair and meet the criteria and the legislation, and that's absolutely fine. So it means we eating and we have a good control system. So we can embed the example when we'll do the assignment, like you cash control. You can look around purchase ledger, sale ledger control, reconciliation policies. How often we do the bank reconciliation in our organization? You do monthly, weekly, yearly. That's also help to meet the control. So guys, so it's good to be look around ECA map, which we said, authorization and all these, the keywords need to be keep in mind. Thanks for attending today's lesson. Hope I will speak you during our next lesson when we'll go through our LO3. Thank you. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll speak you all during our next lesson. Thank you. Bye bye.